A good day to each and everyone. So today we are going to discuss about qualitative research and consumer buying behavior. So before we further discuss about the different methods in conducting qualitative research, let us first define consumer buying behavior and how important is conducting qualitative research for the company. So I hope you will lend your ears that it is really interesting topic and beneficial, especially if you are in the business field or would pursue business soon, or even to us students. So first, let's define consumer behavior. So it is a psychology-based study on how individuals make buying decisions by selecting, using, and evaluating. So the critical missing piece is having a deep understanding of the why or why not behind what the consumer does. So unsay naa ani nga product that urge people to buy, or unsay naa or wala ani nga product nga dili siya paliton sa tao. Why is it not fast moving, or why is it not saleable at all? As a result, qualitative research of consumer buying behavior gained a momentum, a mode of inquiry. So, what is qualitative research? I don't think I have to elaborate further what qualitative research is, as we are already familiar with this. We had research during high school and senior high years, right? But yes, so qualitative research is concerned with understanding human behavior from the informant's perspective. In qualitative research, too, data are collected through participant observation and interviews. So here, data are analyzed by teams from description by informants. Now, what is the impact of conducting qualitative research of consumer buying behavior to the decision making of the company? In whether in production, in operation, in marketing tactics and strategies, and most especially its impact on sales. Today's increasingly competitive and complex shopping environment demands an even greater need to understand the behaviors, needs, and motivation of the ever elusive shopper. Presenting to you here a sample qualitative study of Niina Malat. It is entitled Exploring Consumer Adoption of Mobile Payments, a qualitative study. So, in this study, they are looking for the behavior of the consumer adapting to the newest way of paying bills, which is the mobile payment. So, let's first define what mobile payment is. So, it is a money payment made for a product or service through a portable electronic device such as tablet or a cell phone. So, this includes mobile banking, GCash, PayMaya, ShopeePay, GrabPay, etc. So, mobile payments has been introduced to us years ago, and we are now adapting to it. But this research aims to know how consumers or the users perceived mobile payment based on its relative advantage, complexity, costs, risks, and other factors. After the collection of data, findings suggest that the relative advantage of mobile payment includes the independence of time and place, availability, possibilities for remote payments. So wherever and whenever you are, you can pay your bills or send money to anyone, anytime, as long as there is internet connection. And lastly, queue avoidance, which is very, very important, especially during the pandemic where people are terrified to be exposed in a crowd, fear of being infected. So there are also several barriers to adoption that were identified. So it includes premium pricing. So some mobile payments charges expensively, exorbitantly. I tried once purchasing a purchasing air ticket online, and I have to pay around 300 to 500 pesos for the transaction fee of using GCash as payment option. So it was expensive, but I have no choice since I badly needed a ticket. So complexity, next complexity. We can't deny the fact that there are lots of mobile payments that are not user friendly. So it is very complex and not ideal for people who are not techy. And lastly, perceived risks. So I assume it includes here the risk of committing error and then putting account number. So one wrong number could lead to sending it to another person, and it's very hard to retrieve the money you sent. So, and moreover, it is very risky and prone to hacking. So with these finding as a mobile payment company, you would understand why people love using your service and why some people barely, if not totally, refuse to use your service. So with this, you would know which part you should improve. So you need to modify your user's interface for it to look more user friendly. And as much as possible, you try to lower the charge, as some people are quite sensitive with high charge. And lastly, to enhance the security feature of your service, to give your clients the and future clients the assurance that their money is safe with you. So now, why do you think there is a need to invest in qualitative research in consumer behavior? So today's increasingly competitive and multifaceted shopping environment make unraveling the complexities of today's shoppers paramount to success. Coupled with a demand for growth and speed to market, there is undeniable value in gaining deep understanding of your customers or shoppers. So qualitative shopper research or qualitative research on consumer behavior can shorten development time, reduce wasted investment, and result in a competitive advantage with superior shopper solutions. So let's make the mobile payment we've tackled earlier. Let's make the mobile payment as an example. Now that they already understand their consumers, they would know the next step to improve their service, right? So if they did not conduct a qualitative research, what do you think will happen? Let's say their desire to improve their service made them come up with a decision or with a plan to upgrade their app. Thus it will become more complex without knowing that some of the users find their app very difficult to use. So sa kagustuhan nila nga mo upgrade, mag-add og additional feature, naglisod na siya, magka-complex na siya, maglibog na ang user. So wala sila kay baw nga galisod na di ay ilang user, some of their user find their app complex. So what is the possible outcome? They would lose clients because people will stop using their app due to complexity. So thus this will decrease their sales. So what a waste of investment and lose in sales, right? So another example, as a business, let's say you have a business that are engaging in apparel or clothing line, you wanted to hop in the trend and would offer Taslan short. As for example, I know Taslan short is way long, dugay na trend, but let's say Taslan short without conducting a qualitative research. So now you then purchase Taslan, namuhuna na ka, nag-wholesale na ka og Taslan quality, yet very expensive taslan kay gatuo ka nga maskin pag mahal ni paliton gyapon ni sa tao kay quality man siya, but you did not conduct qualitative research. You did not know nga the reason di ay why people buy taslan is only to hop in the trend. So that means nga quality does that matter for them. Kay they only the reason lang is to hop in the trend. So they want a cheaper variation. The cheaper one. So now, wala na halin imong product kay di ganahan og mahal imuhang mga clients. Dili sad kakapaubos kaayo kay nagansi na ka. So what a waste of investment, right? So here's a few simple questions that can help decide whether gaining deep understanding of your shoppers is worth the investment, or if not doing it is worth the risk of lost time, money, and sales in the end. So first, do you really understand your shopper? You may know their demographics, their interests, or socioeconomic status. Maybe you've asked questions as to why they purchase items or what is important to them. But do you truly understand their needs and their underlying motivations? And so, moingon mong tao nga, ganahan ko mo palit ani tungod kay nindot siya. But did you know ngano nanindutan siya ana? Unsa man na ana nga nanindutan man sila? Wala ka kay baw because you don't know what is really their underlying motivations for them to buy it. So, qualitative research can help you decipher, decode this, and lead to solutions that truly connects with the shopper. Secondly, do you understand your shopper experience? Are you losing sales due to unknown barriers inhibiting completion of a purchase? Or can incremental sales be prompted with more motivating signage or different retail location? So have you experienced buying in a grocery store? Nya, kuan siya libog ilahang pag-categorize sa mga items ga kabuhag sa or ga tapo-tapo tanan. So mawad-an ka gana mo palit kay libog, mas mapadugay imuhang pagpamalit tungod sa ilahang location. Walay mga signage, ingana and all. So what will happen if ikaw ang buyer? It's either gamay ra imong mapalit, katura imong nakita, or you will transfer to another grocery store nga kanang hanay o mas mapapaspas imong pagpalit, right? So such a waste or such a loss of sales sa first groceryhan nga imong nadungan. So, as a business owner, qualitative shopper research or qualitative research on consumer buying behavior can help enhance any stage or element of the journey. You would know unsaon nimo para mas mapa-improve nimo ang imong service sa imong mga shoppers. Third, are you expanding into a new retail environment, or are you planning growth by entering new retail channel or format? Are you embarking on e-commerce? So during pandemic, a lot of brick and mortar business ventured e-commerce for their business to survive. Some ning lago, especially mas didako pa jud ilahang negosyo, and some failed. Why do you think they failed? It is because they have no idea unsay naa sa unsay mga behavior, consumer behavior in online business. They think kung unsay consumer behavior sa physical store, mausad sa e-commerce. So you need to conduct qualitative research for you to know unsay mga behavior sa online consumers. So whether expanding into a new channel or a new retail format, qualitative consumer buying research is critical for early stage understanding of a new venture. Lastly, are you launching into a new category or service? Do you fully understand how shoppers behave in a new category or service? Or are you familiar with the shopper's steps and decisions and how competition satisfies these? As for example, nakay clothing business and now you wanted to venture into a bags business to provide to offer cross-selling sa imong mga clients para na kay ma-offer aside from clothing, right? So karon you wanted to know unsa man jud nga bags ang gusto ka sa imong clients, whether a class A cheaper version or mirror copy taas-taas gamay nga price, or top grade, or katujong mahalon, katujong original, authentic. So in order for you to know the preferences of your clients para dili masayang yung investment, you would conduct qualitative research. So qualitative research on consumer buying behavior will provide valuable learning for a successful launch. So in the end, remember, it's only through truly understanding your shopper or customers that you can develop solutions that will lead to growth. I hope you learned something. And for you to know more about the qualitative research and its methods, my co members will discuss it further. Thank you. Before we proceed to discussing the types of qualitative research, let us first know the differences between qualitative and quantitative research, which was discussed last week by the previous reporters. Quantitative deals with numbers and statistics, while qualitative deals with words and meanings. So simply, quantitative studies rely on numerical or measurable data, while in contrast, qualitative studies rely on personal accounts or documents that illustrates in detail how people think or respond within society. Secondly, in quantitative, its primary focus is on testing theories and hypotheses, while in qualitative, its focus is on exploring ideas and formulating theories. In quantitative, it requires many respondents, while in qualitative, it requires few respondents. So to simply differentiate the two, when you say quantitative data, it tells us how many, how much, or how often in calculation. While in qualitative data, it can help us to understand why, how, or what happened behind certain behaviors.
There are six types of qualitative research method that is used to conduct interview. I'll be discussing the two qualitative research method, which is one-on-one interview and focus group interview. So what is one-on-one interview? One-on-one interview is a commonly used interview in qualitative research, for it is the most valuable method of gaining insight into people's perception, understanding, and experience of a certain product. So, how this one on one interview is conducted? It is carried out personally with one person at a time. So, before the interview is through face to face, but since pandemic, interviewers are going to contact you through your landline or through your mobile phone for an interview. And usually, this kind of interview would last for at least half an hour or 2 hours. I guess it will be 2 hours as maximum. one of the advantage of one-on-one interview is that it has a huge opportunity to gather accurate data from the interviewee. The interview is purely conversational. So therefore, the interviewer can ask follow-up questions to get more precise details from the interviewee's answers. It is to gather in-depth data. It is to gather more in-depth data. Next, I'll be discussing focus group interview. So what is focus group interview? This is commonly used in marketing research for introducing new product on the market as well as testing new product. So focus group interview is designed to gather a group of opinion on a certain product on a specific group of people. So how focus group interview is conducted? The interviewer would gather a small group of people ranging from 6 to 10 respondents. So one of the most important thing in choosing a group of people is that they should have the same demographic traits. An example of demographic traits are they should have at least the same gender, age, race, religion, and etc. For example, as an interviewer, I would like to gather 10 high school students that are all girls, and they should be at the age of 15 to 16 years old. An advantage of focus group interview is that as an interviewer, you don't necessarily interact with a group of people in person. Since we are living with technology and internet today, you can actually send them surveys through online and the responses can be collected as well through online. And another advantage of this interview is that when you gather a group of people to ask or to ask an opinion on a certain product, they can actually provide you an immediate responses or an immediate idea of product improvement as well as a need that is not addressed by the company.
So next is ethnographic research. Ethnographic research in-depth observational method aims to understand the culture, challenges, motivations, and settings that occur. It analyzes people in their naturally occurring environment as a data source. So it is the main goal is to learn the motivations, cultural challenges, and settings that happen. So in short, it is observing behavior, like for example, observing an indigenous village, observing employees in corporate office, observing medical personnel in high volume of hospitals. So it engaged the researcher for extended period of time. It is further used to understand customer in business model and can continue from few days to years. So next is case study research. Case study used to generate in-depth, multifaceted understanding of a complex issue in its real-life context. So case study, this is a method has advanced over the past few years. It is mainly used within a number of areas to explain our organization or an entity. So like for example, many businesses use this technique when marketing new customers. It tells them how their business solutions can solve a specific problem. So case study capture a range of perspectives and understanding of the subject in hand. So in short, it to describe an individual situation. So next is record keeping. Record keeping use of the already existing reliable documents and similar sources of info and the data as the data source. So record keeping, you can get a better understanding of the qualitative research method by going through a detailed guide. So for example, accounts payable, accounts receivable, tax documents, sales records, something like that. Mao na siya ang ginagamit sa uban para makadali ra sila og kuan sa ilahang research. And next is qualitative observation. Qualitative observation use subjective methodologies to gather systematic info or data. Qualitative observation helps you understand user emotions and distinguish between what they want and what they think they want. So, qualitative observations deals with the five major sensory organs and their functioning to examine the attributes. So first is sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing. So like for example, my hair is black in color, the sandwich is spicy, mangingon ana nga kanang kuan. So these are the types of qualitative research. So this will be the end of our reporting. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone.